Welcome back, everyone. How's everyone doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Fantastic.
There.
Fantastic.
All right. So,
Nasty.
like I said, nasty.
Did somebody
Who's
say nasty?
calling my name?
No,
Who's
fantastic.
calling my name? No, I'm just joking. So, anyways, welcome in, guys. This is the very first podcast of Battle of the Mindsets. This is for 2025. You guys, I'm actually really excited for this. I do want to let this be known that we endorse Two Vets Canine Training. If you don't know who they are, check them out at twovetscaninetraining.com. Also, don't forget to check out the official No Cut Cards, not only his YouTube, but his website as well, because he's got amazing merch. Also, let him know about your shit that you've been through. He wants to hear your life story. So, am I wrong? Does that sound right?
You are right. You are right. Perfect.
Okay, so early in the week, we're going to start this off by this. What's up, Ice Bro? Welcome in, Cassie. Early in the week, I came across a video from the official No Cut Cards YouTube page talking about pride. Okay. What's up, guys? Welcome in. So we were talking about pride, right? You do have perfect timing, all of you.
Yeah.
We kind of had a little bit of a debate on how we looked at pride. We realized that everyone's mindset is different. So that's where we came up with the idea of Battle of the Mindsets, because we now not only have me and the official No Cut Cards here, but we have Not My Final Form, and we also have Unburdened. Two amazing. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm sure you guys never even looked at yourself as motivational speakers, never even expected to even think about that kind of stuff. I know I didn't when I first started. So let's hear your guys' viewpoints on things.
So my viewpoints. Well, how I first started off, just like going on TikTok and talking to people. I didn't even think about motivating anybody, so I just started working out. Actually, it was more of to keep accountability over myself when I was going on TikTok. And then when people started talking to me and saying that I motivated them is what kind of put me in the whole motivational speaking. So I guess the whole Unburdened thing happened just for myself, the name. My little brother's actually the one that he used that word for. He used it for something that word just stuck into my head. And being unburdened was like, oh fuck, you know what? I want to be unburdened. I want to feel stress free. I want to feel stress free. I want to know how to be like that. And I know it was going to be financial. I know it was going to be either with my family problems or just problems in general. And I feel like a lot of it was just like me being physically fit. I was kind of like self-conscious about myself and how I was. And I feel like I wasn't who I wanted to be. So that's kind of like where my mindset's at right now. Just trying to better myself and better other people on the way to success. That's where I just want to be successful in myself and help other people do that as well.
What's up, guys? First of all, thanks for having me on. This is badass. It's an absolute honor, I think. Uh, I'll kind of give you a little bit of my backstory, some of the stuff that's been going on recently. June 18th, I believe, of this year, June 12th, June 18th, somewhere along that time frame, I was weighing in at 312 pounds. I was miserable. Man, like I was hurting, I was in pain. Everything sucked at that point in time. One night, I'm standing outside with my kid. She's wanting me to run around and play, and I couldn't do it. So from that point forward, I was like, you know what? I've got to do something to change myself. So I did. Put myself back in the gym. I started eating different foods, things like that. Running more often, going for long walks, things like that. Doing what I had to in order to make myself better than how I was the day before. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's why I started posting like a lot of workout videos on my TikTok to try to help motivate other people that may have the same issue. You know what I mean? Like, because I mean, it is kind of hard to like motivate yourself to go do something like go to the fucking gym or go for a walk or go for a run or something like that. You know what I mean? So I think like maybe if someone out there sees me doing my thing in the gym and some of my exercises and stuff like that, maybe that can help someone to like get up and make a change themselves.
Where?
And Nick, muted.
I'm sorry. My bad. So, anyways, I completely agree. That kind of is what inspired, I think, a lot of us to get out there and actually start living the way we do. You know, we go through different changes in our life, different areas where we feel like we wish we had someone there to do what we're doing for us, right? I know when I was fighting for my kids, I really wished I had someone there to say, "Hey, you're doing good. Keep it going. Don't stop. Don't stop. You know, keep pushing through the bad stuff." You know, so it kind of inspired me to become the person that actually pushes through things, right?
hmm
Kevin, I don't know if you ever said what inspired you to do this kind of stuff, did you?
I don't know if I've ever said that or not. I don't think so. Well, in all honesty, it's actually exactly what you just said. Is that basically I'm trying to be the person that I always searched for during my whole process, my whole journey that I couldn't find. You know, you always look for that person, and not even just support, just in general. You look for that person to guide you or to have advice or to push you this way, whatever the case would be. But you know, even with opportunities, right? Is I never had that person. It ended up being me. So that's pretty much my whole purpose, which is just to be the person that I was always searching for but never found. And that's why my whole goal, we talk about being successful and shit. There is no success with what I'm doing, is because it's be able to give as many people, say, who deserve it, but as many people opportunities and ways to change their life as possible. And if you have a goal like that, you can't actually hit it. So if you can't hit it, you can never actually be successful. If you can't consider yourself successful, then you really can't stop.
Right. Absolutely.
I completely agree. So, as I've said many times, a lot of my reasoning for doing what I do is I've been pretty much told most of my life that, you know, things were out of reach for me. I couldn't do this or I couldn't do that. Me gaining weight, I was told that's almost impossible. My metabolism is too high. I mean, even in the even when I went to basic training, AIT, oh, we'll put weight on you, and when I get out, they tell me, well, apparently you just can't gain weight. Which I plan on proving that wrong. I'm working myself to try to gain weight, try to become a lot better with my diet, my exercise, and all that. But I think the main motivator I have is the fact that it was actually in Ohio that actually kind of inspired me, because I was told I couldn't get my kids back. I would never get custody of my kids back. They would wind up going in the foster care system and I'd never get them back. And I said, screw that. I won't give up. You know, I can't give up. And I know one of my best friends, his name's Kyle. He told me straight out, I am too done, or I'm too stupid to quit. I don't know when to stay down. So that kind of inspired me just to keep moving forward. I know there are certain things that, in my opinion, are elements to success. And one of those elements, I believe, is a form of pride. Now, I don't believe in having ego. I believe you have to be humble. Because I mean, if you're out there, oh, you know, I've got a podcast. It's the best podcast in the world. I'm also a Twitch streamer. I was in the military, so I'm a badass. You know, no, I don't. You know, that's ego, and that's wrong.
Yep. We had that conversation. It's the same thing. Like
Yeah.
pride, there's like being proud of yourself for doing something. I mean, it's honestly, it's necessary. You have to be like, okay, I'm doing good things. I'm doing well. Let's keep pushing. Right. But there's a difference between having to announce it and just knowing it for yourself. Because the other thing is, if you really are doing what you say you're doing, you can see it externally.
Mhm.
People can see it without you actually saying it. You know, you're not boasting of yourself. Boasting about yourself. You're not just, I'm the best. Oh yeah, by the way, I did this. Or it says something like when you go down this, you go down, so you see someone who's homeless, you give them $20. Okay, fine. You come out, you're like, oh, I gave this guy who was homeless $20. Okay, well, great. Well, here's the question: is did you actually do it because you wanted to, or did you do it so you could say that you did it? Right. A lot of shit that you do, it goes unseen, but it doesn't have to be seen for it to mean something. I think a lot of people follow it. So when you build something, fantastic, or you do this, you do that, you don't have to say, oh, by the way, I built a $20 million company. Okay, well, okay, that's great, but I mean, I can see that you're doing well, but you don't have to sit here and boast about it. People don't like to hear that shit because it makes them think that you're just basically you're better than them, right? So how with pride, how I always thought about it was if you have to boast about what you're doing, what you've done, you're that insecure where knowing what you've done wasn't enough to actually fulfill what you did. So you have to have everybody tell everybody about it. Oh, everybody needs to know I did this. Well, why the fuck does everybody need to know that? They can see that what you're doing without you actually saying it.
Yeah.
Robbie Williams says people will feel it when you walk into a room, not because of what you say, but just because you have gained something most people never get, which I completely agree, Robbie. I completely agree with that.
That's 100% right. 100% right.
That's a damn fact.
I know. I'm gonna kind of put it out there. When I started this journey, I actually started 4 years ago, and one of the things I will say is, when you're ready, it will happen. Right? When you're ready, actually ready, it will happen. You don't have a say in the matter. So about a month and a half ago, after speaking about doing a podcast, starting to motivate people and trying to get people to want better for their lives, it was about a month and a half ago, maybe even 2 now, that I actually had met Kevin, and we talked on the phone, and it's like I talked to him, I think it was 2 or 3 nights ago, and we were talking about, the difference from when I first met him to now. And I'm going to be the first one to say, and I'm kind of going to plug Kevin's coaching business he has. If you don't have a mentor or a coach, my recommendation, get one, because I can, like myself, I can feel the change in me over a month and a half. Okay. I can feel the motivation in me. I don't need to talk to anyone anymore. Referring, what? Are you deciding to? Anyways, I don't need someone to motivate me. I can motivate myself now, and that took a month and a half. And if one of our first conversation was, I said I wanted to do a podcast. Well, I've told that to a lot of people. I want to do a podcast. So, well, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Kevin's response to me was, "Why haven't you done it yet? You keep saying you're going to do it. Go do it."
I'm pretty sure the exact words. It was that same night we actually talked on the phone. I was like, "Why the fuck haven't you done it?"
Yeah, no, that's the exact words. And the cool thing about that is it's like a light switch. When you switch it on, it's on. When you switch it off, it's off. Right? So like something when he said those words switched on in my head. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna do it. And like I've said I believe it was a Laws of Attraction video we did. I straight out said, I was like, I'm going to do it. And that morning, which I blew the motor in my car. I almost lost my job because I had no way to get to work. Right. But I still did the podcast. Now, one thing I will say is, if you don't put in the work, nothing's going to happen. No risk, no reward. Right.
When you change your mindset, the opportunities come to you, but they're not going to be done for you. Right.
Exactly.
Your mind opens up and you see different shit. You see different opportunities that come towards you. But just because you got the opportunity doesn't mean it's going to be done for you. But also you understand it's going to get fucking hard because it tests you. The opportunity is there. Well, it's not an easy road. So the opportunity comes like, oh shit, I can do this. You start doing it. And then shit goes downhill. Why? It's not because it's bad luck. It's because you have to work for what you're doing. You have to actually get rid of some of the bullshit that you have and build other attributes that build yourself to be a better person. Well, think about it. If you were that person that could do it, that could do what you want, you've already done it. Mm-hmm. Right. So the hard times are what gets rid of the bullshit and brings in the stuff you need.
I completely agree with that. I know. Actually, I'm gonna kind of bring my brother involved in this, because my brother actually messaged me today about the Laws of Attraction video we did. One of the things I had to clarify for him is, no, there's no magic there. Okay, Laws of Attraction is not some magical voodoo that happens where, oh, I'm manifesting money, I'm manifesting that. No, you've actually got to walk it out. You can't just, I want to be a millionaire and then expect $1 million to fall from the sky. That don't happen. It's the opportunities that open the door for you to get to where you want to be. Okay, right. You start looking for that. Once you get it in your head, just like Kevin said, once you get it in your head and you believe that these opportunities can come to you, that's when they come. You start seeing them, because The average person isn't going to see those opportunities. They're not going to see the opportunity. Well, hey, you got an opportunity to do this. Why don't you do it? Well,
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to work out. Sometimes
well-
you got to take that risk. And yeah, I believe people are wired to not take risk. And he brought up the fact of the saber-tooth tiger in the forest and the eyes in the forest at night. Yeah, okay, so our whole existence, we've had to deal with predators. I get that. But now we're the apex predator now. Screw that. Take the fucking risk.
No, yeah.
Think about,
Me.
go ahead.
Even when I what's it called? When I first started off, when I decided to go, like, I want to make this journey, I wanted to make the journey to become a fireman. It was a risk, because I was like, there goes my time with my family, there goes money, there goes that I don't have to use. And that was scary for me, but then I was like, hey, I gotta just push it and just do it. And or else I'm just gonna regret it later. That's the biggest thing I didn't want. I didn't want to regret. So
Yeah.
And there was a saying that was saying, like, the biggest risk you could take is not risking anything.
Mhm.
That's now I'm just like, oh man, that's 100% true. That's true. And that just reminded me of what you guys just said right now.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
pretty sure.
it's right. I mean, the only thing you regret is what you didn't do. Like, you
Yeah,
can't regret.
absolutely.
You're not gonna regret trying, but if you end up regretting because you tried, it means you didn't keep going.
Yeah.
And as far as the law of attraction, I mean, I grant some people think it's bullshit and some don't, and that's fine. But think about it this way: is with the law of attraction, it's what you think, what you speak, how you feel is what is attracted to you, right?
Mhm.
So, and I think I asked the question before, a few people. The question is, if you think about the way you're living right this second, how are you thinking? If you're living a shitty life, I can promise you it's because you're thinking completely shitty. You're thinking you're worthless. You're not confident. You're worthless. You can't do this. You can't do that. You're never going to do this. You'll never do that. Well, guess what? That's exactly what's happening. But here's the thing. It's not happening because you can't. It's happening because you believe that shit. So if you start
Absolutely.
believing that, so if you start flip your switch and be like, you know what? That's bullshit. I can do this. I am fucking doing this. It's amazing because you don't have to find the shit that you need, like, to get there. It will literally just open the door. You'll be able to open doors. You walk through it. Like, it just comes to you, but it's never going to happen until you actually say, well, maybe I am worth something. Boom. So for a proof is, if anybody doesn't believe in the law of attraction, look at how you're living and look at how you think. I can almost guarantee you 99% of the time it's going to fucking correlate with each other. Now, granted, shit happens with people. I get it. Some people have shit that goes on. I understand that. Some, medical or emotional, whatever, it happens. I get that. And there are always exceptions to every fucking rule. Okay. If there wasn't an exception to every rule, then everybody would be doing amazing and perfect and wonderful, right? It's just how it is what it is. But most of the time, if you look at how you feel on a daily basis, generally, you are living that fucking life 100%.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely.
agree.
It's like, you got to
It's
change your
like-
whole fucking mindset. You know what I mean? You got to, like, change the
Technical
way you think
difficulties.
completely in order to be able to get the things you want. Because, like you keep saying, if you're thinking you're not worth a damn, or you're thinking you're a piece of shit or something like that, then that's exactly the fucking life you're gonna live.
That's right.
That's absolutely correct. I mean, I can tell you that is accurate because I've been in that kind of mind state before. You know what I mean? I've been able to pull myself out of it, thankfully.
Yeah.
But I have thought that way, and any time that I start to think that way, that's when a lot of shit starts to kind of turn sour.
Yep.
Mhm.
I mean, look at any. I'm gonna go with the wealthy. Look at any of the very, like, I guess, extremely wealthy people. Okay, and these are people that some people that I watch. People don't know who they are. It's fine. But you got, like, Grant Cardone, you got Bradley, you got Gary V, you have Andy Frisella, and then you have,
Mhm.
and this isn't a political thing. Okay, this isn't a political thing. But you got, like, any of these all. You got Donald Trump. You got any leader, right? Who's exceptional, right? They don't think they're pieces of shit, do they? No, they don't think.
Mm-mm.
Now they might be pieces of shit, but they don't think they are. But they're living how they're thinking, right? But every wealthy person, every of the wealthiest people, if you watch them, study them, not one of them thinks that they're shitty people, and not one of them thinks that life sucks. But they all came from that. They thought that life sucks and life was shit and bad luck and it was this and that. It wasn't their fault. Everything was happening, right?
Right.
But that's the thing is, every single one of them has been through that. And I think I heard Joe Rogan say it. He said that the most extremely successful, wealthiest, most exceptional people have been through absolute fucking hell. And it's true, because it builds you to be a person. At the same time, you got to remember this too, is everyone's version of absolute shit is different. Like all of our lives are different. Okay, they're
Right.
all fucking different, right? But
Mhm.
but when you live when you live like complete, like when you have that shitty ass mindset, okay,
Yeah.
we all at some point we all feel no matter what the situation, we all feel is shitty. So
Yeah.
just because someone didn't go through as bad of a time as someone else doesn't mean they didn't feel the same way with the way they went through. So every exceptional person has been through absolute hell up here and in life. But look what happened. They all started saying, no, fuck this. I'm better than this. And they fucking move forward.
Mhm.
Every one of them.
Real quick, I do want to say, no, I am not sponsored by Krispy Kreme donuts. We did have this conversation prior to the live about my cup. I've had this cup for a long time, but Krispy Kreme donuts, if you do come back to actually your original brand, I'd be happy to go back to eating Krispy Kreme donuts.
I love Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme's good, man.
I have nothing against Krispy Kreme. Hell, we'll even add whey protein to it to make it more. But you just want to be. That's good. Okay, that's something I do want to talk about. I do believe side hustles are good. Side hustles are going to only grow you. Okay, so if you have a side now, I'm going to tell you right now. This depends on the side hustles. I will say, legal, legit side hustles will only help you grow. Okay, I have to make sure I say that because back home where I'm from in Kingman, Arizona, yeah, a side hustle can mean something totally different than
Oh,
a
yeah.
legal, legit job. I don't know about where you guys are from, but yeah. So having a side hustle is actually going to help you grow, not only as a business, but it'll help you grow as a person because it's teaching you those nice little business techniques, right? So I think having side hustles are good. So way to go, Heathen Ken, for having a side hustle. That's awesome.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree. Side hustle, I agree 100%. But don't just everybody knows. A lot of people get a mistake. I think that myself for a very long time is don't if let's say you make it at your normal job, you make $20 an hour, and your side hustle takes you 5 hours, make $20. Don't leave your like don't leave if you have after overtime or something. Don't leave after 8 hours when you could be now making $30 an hour to go over here and make 20 in 5 hours. That
Oh,
defeats the purpose.
yeah, for
That
sure. I
defeats
get
the
exactly what you're saying about
but
that.
a lot of people do that, and I've done it myself. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
but you don't think about that. You're like, "Oh, I love it. That's great. You love it." But here's the problem: is like in those 5 hours, you made $20. You could have made 150,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it's I just want to throw that out there because that's. I mean, I used to get confused myself a long time ago.
Mhm.
So that's actually a good point. We once again, like I said, we are talking about how our mindsets work. Okay, so me personally, I remember back when I was in high school, I was helping people work on their houses, weeding yards because if anyone knows anything about Arizona in the desert, we don't have grass, we have weeds and trash and tumbleweeds. So that's what I was doing. I'd go through and clean up all the weeds in someone's yard, or the trash that was left behind in rental units. I didn't realize at the time that was actually a business that you could get into. Of they're called trash out cleanouts. It's just something you could do for rental homes, and people will pay you good money to do that. You haul off the trash and everything like that, take a dump, whatever. Right? I didn't know at that time. I was I think 13 or 14 years old. And that was actually the first side hustle I ever did. I actually wound up realizing, hey, I can make good money doing this. Da, da, da. I ditched school to go do that. Okay, to go clean out houses and stuff like that for $100 a day. Okay, now had I stayed in school and focused on my grades, I wouldn't have got in trouble doing the side hustle that I was doing with the trash out clean out, right? Because I would have had a record where it was and everything like that. So don't think that just because you're making money somewhere that it can replace knowledge. Knowledge is power. I say it all the time. Knowledge is power. And that's something no one can take away from you.
Oh, yeah.
Mine's legal. It's just transfer. I'm glad it's legal, but like I said, knowledge is power. That's something no one can take away from you. You can always go broke. You can always go bankrupt. Having the knowledge and the connections that's what's going to get you farther, right?
Mhm.
There was another conversation that was brought up. If a millionaire goes broke, right? We brought that up in the laws of attraction. If a millionaire goes broke, he can manage to make that money back, right? My brother goes, well, if he lost his contacts, all that, you're not going to lose those contacts, okay? You still have that network. That's something else I'm going to state is don't burn bridges unless you absolutely have to. And that means those bridges you burn should be the people that are literally holding you back. Other than that, maintain your contact with people that are actually willing to help you push forward and help you grow.
You
Right.
never know. You never know. You never know when you might, if they need somebody, but you never know when that contact, that connection, that networking comes in handy. You never
Right.
know who it is or what it is, but always, unless it's like exactly what you said, unless they're holding you back,
Mhm.
play nice, I guess, so to speak. And it's not like you're using somebody. It's just being
Mhm.
smart. It's just being smart because at the same time, they could also need your help too. There's nothing wrong with it. It goes both ways.
Well,
Yeah.
I think I like your saying on the whole friends thing, friends for a season, stuff like
Mhm.
that. That's one of my favorite things he says, and I'm not very good at saying it because I don't really understand it. I mean, I understand it, I don't know how to say it. Does that make sense? You got something to say, Chris, or Unburden?
Oh man, yeah, dude. Like I kind of lost what the fuck I was gonna talk about just now. That kind of happens sometimes, you know what I mean? But yeah,
I've done
like
it.
Kevin was saying a while ago,
No.
you got to keep some contacts and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like you don't just want to cut anyone off unless they're being detrimental to what you're trying to do. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like we talked about that earlier backstage and stuff too. Like sometimes there's going to come a time in life where you're just going to have to kind of like start weeding some people out because they're not going to be the people that's going to push you forward and want to see you actually achieve the goals that you were going after.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
It's growth. It's
Mhm.
all
Yeah.
about it's all about growth. You grow.
Absolutely.
People will grow with you if they're supposed to. If not, and you never have to cut. You don't usually have to cut people. You don't ever have to really tell anybody fuck you. It's not that. There's a decision that sometimes you have to make a decision and be like, hey, you know what, this isn't working. But usually people just fall off, and that's
Right.
I
okay.
got to make a phone call real quick because I told a couple people to fuck off because now I'm just
Hey, why's my phone ringing?
Hey, Kevin, I'm sorry. I said
I didn't mean it. Please forgive me.
take me back. I miss you, Poppy.
but that's the thing though. Do you remember? Is people grow different ways, and that's good. Like you should never be upset because if someone grows with you, you should never be
Yeah.
upset if they go further than you or grow this way. You never, because here's the thing. Like what you're saying is, people are there, and I heard it somewhere else. I can't take credit for that, but it was people. People are there for seasons. You don't know how long a season's going to be, but you got to remember seasons come back.
Yeah.
Sometimes we feel like we don't get a spring. We don't get a springtime here where we live. It's
Right.
winter. It's winter about a week where it's kind of warm, and then it's fucking summer, right? So
Mhm.
it's almost like it skips this. It almost like it skips that damn season. But usually it comes back, and that's okay. The seasons that the people that don't come back, they just weren't meant to be there in general. But that's why
Yeah.
it's okay. You don't burn bridges. If someone doesn't fit what you're doing now, it's not about what they're doing. It's about the mindset they have.
Yeah,
Everyone has
absolutely.
different. Everyone has different goals and different
Mhm.
views. There's nothing wrong with it. Everyone should have. It should be different, right? But it's like as long as you have the right mindset, the similar mindset, there's nothing wrong. You want to have everyone to grow because again, not to be just to benefit yourself, but you never know where this shit it goes all this way and then it comes right back and everything folds back together and then now you move together. But but it's just seasons at that point in time. Someone might be there for 5 years, gone for 5 years, back for the rest of your life. Somebody might be there for a day, gone, and then back for 12 years. You don't know. You don't know that.
No.
I think Cassie says it right there. There's always a reason why we meet people. Meet someone. It could be for just a passing smile, or it could be more. I agree. So, with that said, I did want to bring up. He did mention challenges. So, with Battle of the Mindset 2025, we are going to be doing a challenge. I'm actually going to have Unburden call this challenge for this month. So we're going to do a challenge. We don't know what his challenge is. He's going to think about it off the top of his head. And those that are actually going to partake in the challenge, that's going to be great. But it could be exercise challenge. It could be food, like nutrition challenge. Pretty much anything. So, as far as mental health and mindset, this is a mindset challenge thing. So it's got to have something to stimulate and exercise our mindsets.
You know what? What I think a good challenge is find a good quote, and then try to live by that for that week. That's what I want. I think it's a good challenge, just for somebody to post it and then talk about it. What does this quote mean to you, and how does it motivate you? Because I go through quotes constantly. Some that I want, I always look for ones that have like unburdened. And there's been this one with the Ultimate Warrior that's been
Ultimate Warrior.
I know it's about wrestling, but it's about what he says. It's what he says. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Every man's heart one day beats its last beat. His lungs breathes its last breath. And if what that man did in his lifetime and in his life makes the blood pulse through the bodies of others and makes them bleed deeper than something larger than life, then his essence, his spirit will be immortalized by the storytellers, by the loyalty, by the memory of those who honor him and make the man will live forever, you know? So that right there is that saying.
Okay.
I thought about it earlier today from what Two Vets was talking about when he said something about a wrestler. I'm not sure what it was, but he made me think about the Ultimate Warrior.
I think what he was talking about was the fact that there was going to be something wrestling coming on. All right, so your challenge for everyone is pick a quote and live by it for a week, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've already got one right here. I've already picked it out. The internet is an awesome thing.
Oh yeah, I love it.
But this one says, be yourself. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken.
Yep.
That's a pretty good one, I think.
So does it have to be a quote like that we look up, or can it be a quote we already know? Because I know a lot of quotes, and I do actually.
Yeah, you just got, if anything, just post about it. Like, hey, this quote, this is what I'm living by, and let's talk about it.
Okay. So I got to pick a quote and live by it. Gotcha. Now I do.
I got one. I couldn't remember exactly the wording of it, but it's one I heard about. Probably I heard about 4 years ago when I kind of started, really digging in everything, and it's actually by right here. It's actually by Einstein. Okay. It says imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world.
I like that one.
Right. So, and to me, what that means is, like, we talk about the law of attraction. Okay. Knowledge is limited, but imagination is completely unlimited. And what you can imagine, there's no limit to it. There is a limit on knowledge. You can only take so much, but you can only get so far on knowledge, but imagination can get you anywhere you want to go. So that's where that quote, it was in a video I saw about 4 years ago, and I love it.
I'm pretty sure Kevin already knows the quote I'm going to go with because it's one of the most influential quotes I've ever been given, and it's definitely from the ages. Okay, and this actually comes from Marcus Aurelius from Stoicism. It says, you cannot control the actions of others, but merely control your own reactions to others' actions. And to me, what that means is when someone does something negative to you, your reaction does not have to be negative back. It could be a positive or it could be no reaction at all. Remember, a reaction doesn't need an actual action to be a reaction. It's not hard to ignore the negative and walk away.
Absolutely.
Or in the case of social media, scroll on.
Yeah.
Okay, so we all got our quotes. All right, so Chris, it is your turn. Figure out a challenge.
Figure out a challenge. All right. I got a good one. Every morning on your daily adventures in the wild, try to talk to a person and see what their story is. Random stranger. Every morning.
Find a random stranger, hear their story. Gotcha.
Someone you see at a convenience store, cashier or something like that. Don't get yourself off in a jam, because I know how some people are out there. You know what I mean? Like, you do kind of got to be careful who you just run up to. But hey, can I talk to you for a minute? Because they might be like, I'm not so sure about this.
I like that one, Robbie. That's a pretty good quote. Robbie says, life isn't measured by what you earn, but by the words spoken at your funeral.
Oh man,
That's good.
That's dark but good. All
it's a
right,
good
so
one.
find a random stranger, hear their story.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that. Kevin, your turn.
It has to be a week goal, or is it gonna be longer?
If you want to make it a week goal, it could be a week goal. If you want to make it a month goal, it could be a month goal.
All right, I'll do the month one.
All right.
All right, write
I think
down
that's-
write down every single day. Don't miss a day. Every day, once a day. It could be before you go to bed, when you wake up, doesn't matter. Write down every goal, every goal that you want to hit. Anything, doesn't matter how big, doesn't matter how small. It doesn't matter. Everything. When you write it down each day, do not go back the next day. Do not go back and look at the goals from the prior day. A new sheet every single day, and just write down for 5 minutes everything you can possibly think of. At the end of the 30 days, come back and you go through that whole book and you see what goals you've actually hit.
Okay.
So you want so it should be goals we can actually complete during that month, right? Not like
Doesn't have
life
to.
goals.
No, it doesn't have to be. No, not at all.
Okay. Well, there's-
Anything. Because you'd be amazed when and no order, doesn't matter. You take 5 minutes and you write down everything that comes to the top of your head. Everything. Write it all down every day. It doesn't have to be a certain amount. Every day, whatever you think of, 5 minutes, and cut it off. At the end of that 30, end of the month, 30, 31 days, I guarantee you that you have hit some of those goals, and you are actually closer to the goals you never thought you'd actually get to. You're way closer to them. And I'll guarantee your goals have changed every single week. Your goals have actually gotten further and further because you've gotten closer and closer.
Okay. I like that. I've got another month goal. For those of you that are trying to lose weight, I'm personally trying to gain weight. I want you to watch portion control. For me, I've got to actually gain portion control. I believe it's capable. You're capable. I think it's like 1 pound a week or something like that. 4 pounds a month, something like that.
Oh, it can be substantially more.
Healthy wise, it would
Yeah.
be you're able to lose or gain 4 pounds a month. So
Mhm.
I would like to challenge everyone that is trying, and this is just for those that are trying to lose or gain weight, for you to eat healthier, moderate your portions, and exercise properly. Do a video of that, or something. Do something, a video, whatever, post it on your page. So that means anyone that's in the comments right now, please go follow the creators. I do have them linked in the description itself. So you can actually hit the description button and it has their channels. Everyone's channels are in there. So like I said, come back. We'll come back next Friday. And the ones that have 30-day goals, those goals are going to be held off. Okay. The weekly goals, that's what we're going to do. So we have talk to a stranger, hear their story, and we have live by a quote for a week. So those are 2 main goals for this week. The 30-day goal will be in 30 days. So it is the 3rd. So on February 3rd, we'll come back and for the 30-day goals. So next week, Chris and Unburdened will come up with a 30-day goal for each of us, and me and Kevin will have to come up with the weekly goal. So I think that pretty fair for the rules for Battle of the Mindsets. For those of you at home, though, I will say this. If you choose to partake in any kind of personal fitness goals, such as exercise or diet, I strongly suggest you consult your healthcare provider before doing so, because we are not here to hurt you. We are here to try to help you. Therefore, we would really appreciate it if you did go seek out a healthcare provider and find out what your limitations are. Because if you have any kind of heart issues, have any kind of issue with joints, it could hurt you doing some of these exercises. So, like I said, know your limits, figure that out, and go forth.
I do got one thing to add about the weight loss thing. It's not just about cutting back portions and stuff like that. The only way to drop lbs is you have to be in a caloric deficit. And the easiest way to determine exactly how many calories you are intaking that day is you got to weigh your food and log it. You like find a nutrition app, something like that. I use one that's called My Net Diary. It's available on the Apple Store and Google Play, I do believe. It's free unless you want to get all the perks and stuff with it. You can actually type in your weight loss goal, what you're trying to get down to. Give it your basic measurements as far as height, current weight, age, gender, things like that, because all that stuff does come into play. Believe it or not, your sleep can affect a lot of that too. It can affect muscle gain, weight loss, and things like that. If you're not getting enough sleep, if you're not eating the right foods, or I'm not necessarily going to say right foods, like if you're not in a caloric deficit, you're not going to drop weight. That's just how it is. And I think a lot of people get misled sometimes.
Calories doesn't necessarily mean gain or lose weight. I'll say that right now. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to gain or lose weight with calories. He is correct there. So
yeah. So like, I mean, if say for instance, my caloric budget right now is 2,400 calories a day, 2,437, something like that. That's what I have to have in order to cut down. Now, I mean, I could probably go a little more because of the strenuous activity I do at the gym. I could probably have a couple hundred more and be okay, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to keep it in that budget. Everyone's different too. You got to kind of figure out, I mean, it's with an app like that or a nutrition coach, they will be able to figure that stuff out for you.
Yes.
And I'll tell you this, measuring out all your shit, it sounds like a pain in the ass. But in all honesty, if you do it for about 2 weeks, you won't have to measure shit now. If you won't have to even measure shit out anymore, you will literally, you can eyeball it and pretty much get damn near exact. Like, I mean, I used to do it all the time. Then I was like, this is a waste of time. I literally just started just eyeballing it. It was fine. And another thing with all the nutrition shit and even the gym exercise is don't make it a job. If you make it a job, you'll hate it. Okay.
Absolutely.
And don't go crazy, and not for the health reason. But if you're sitting here saying, okay, well, I eat Burger King twice a day. I drink, 12 Cokes every day. I do this. If you cut all that out at the same time, you won't keep up with it. If you gradually take it out, you are way more likely to stick with it. Right. So don't, it's a long game. And then also want to say with my goal is with the 30-day challenge is, I'll tell you right now that if anybody this is where accountability comes in, that really shitty word nobody likes, the whole accountability.
Oh yeah.
Fuck me. Oh my God. Fuck me. I can't be accountable for shit. Right. But no one will hold you accountable to do it. Okay. And and I can tell you right now, it doesn't matter what situation. I mean, again, there's always exceptions. Okay. Always an exception. But if anyone here on the podcast, I don't know how many people are on here, who's on here. If there's, 10 people on here and 10 people, it didn't work. I can guarantee you that 9 of those 10 people didn't do it because it is a fact. Okay. So if you sit there and say, oh, I did, it didn't work. No, you didn't. I can fucking promise you didn't do it. I can guarantee it. So that's a whole accountability. Here's the thing. Do it to prove me wrong, because you're going to prove me right. And you're going to prove yourself that you are fucking awesome. You can do anything you want to do.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to say this. If your goal, once again, I've said it many times, if your goal is to gain $1 million in 3 weeks, you're already setting yourself up for failure. I'm sorry you are. The reason
you
I
gotta
state
set
that,
like realistic goals. You
have to set realistic goals. If you set goals that maybe in a year I will make $1 million, cool. Do that. At least you have that time to build a business, build a product, and get things going. But I'm telling you right now, money does not just fall from the skies. You have to work on what you want in order to gain where you want. Now, that is not saying that you can't magically come up with a product that sells for $1 million in 3 weeks. I'm not saying that. Someone's going to come back here. I know that they're going to come back here and be like, hey, guess what? Desert, you're wrong. 3 weeks ago, you said I couldn't make $1 million. Here's $1 million. I just made it. I'm gonna be proud of you. Don't get me wrong. I'll be proud of you. I'm just saying, set goals that are realistic.
Well, here's the thing: set goal realistic. But that's why the whole point is set everything that comes to mind, no matter how big or small. Okay, but here's the thing: is because you will start even the big ones that are maybe they aren't realistic. Maybe you got one that's like, I want to do this in a month. Okay, that's fine. But I guarantee you, if it keeps coming up on you without looking back, if it keeps coming up every single day you write it down, I guarantee at the end of 30 days, you will be way closer to that goal than you were
Oh, for
right?
sure.
So think about it this way. Let's say your goal is I'm just gonna throw a number. Let's say your goal is I want to make 100 grand this year. Okay, this is a year. I mean, 100 grand this year. Okay, if you shoot for 100 grand, okay, you might not hit it. Okay, I'm not saying you might not. You might not. But if you don't, okay, let's say you've been 70 or 80. I can promise you that if you really actually put your mind to it and you said, I want to make 200,000 this year, I bet you might not hit that fucking 200, but I can almost guarantee you'll be over that 100.
Oh, yeah.
Because your mind is not focusing on going over that. Your mind is focusing on that number, and your brain and your whole life will go towards that number. So shoot for something high.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
focusing on that money, because your brain, that's all it's thinking about. I want to get $200,000 by this year, or make 200,000 in sales. Who knows?
Right.
I want to get there. See, this is why I'm not a financial coach, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know shit about money. Okay.
Oh,
I
no,
don't.
me neither.
Yeah.
Me neither.
That's why we have Kevin around, because he's actually pretty smart when it comes to that. Which, by the way, Empowered Kings, the Discord group, will be, I think, launching within the next week or so. So be prepared. I will have a permanent link in the somehow. I will get a permanent link set up, but or for those of you guys that have me on any other platform, which you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok under Desert_Rat26. Unfortunately, TikTok doesn't allow me to send links through their messenger app, but Discord, or not Discord, but Instagram and Twitter, I believe, do. So if you can find me there, I will send you a link to Empowered Kings. Now, I will say this is for mainly men. I am setting up a Discord for the Empowered Mindset altogether. So that way we will actually have an area. There'll be an area where Chris can get suggestions, Burden can get suggestions for videos that you want to see from them, along with No Cut Cards, because they all have their own channels. So this literally is just a way we can all get on here and actually talk together.
Hey, I want to throw one more thing about the financial shit, because I know this is something that people always think.
Okay.
And I heard this. I've had people fight me about this one, but I don't really give a fuck. So, oh well. So I watched a guy. Some people know who he is, some people don't. Grant Cardone. He's a real estate billionaire. Okay. He said something that took me a little bit to think about it and understand it, but everyone thinks that if you want money, if you want finances, you're selfish, right? Okay. A lot of people think that way. Oh, I want to be rich. Okay, well, you're selfish. And everyone who thinks people are rich, they're selfish. They've done wrong shit. They're pieces of shit because they have so much money. They had to have done something fucked up to get it. Okay. Well, he said something that kind of hit me out. He said people think that when you have money, you're selfish, but after when you're broke, you're selfish. Because if you're broke, if you're too selfish, you're too lazy to get yourself out of that broke mindset, right? You can't help other people. So you're actually selfish because you're not willing to make more money to help other people. And I was like, shit, that actually kind of makes sense. I know people disagree with me on that, right? But here's the thing. But everyone here, if everyone had a shitload of money, are you telling me you wouldn't help people? You would. I guarantee it. Everybody would.
That's what we're here for. We're here to help people. So,
but here's the problem. If you don't have any money, you can't help anybody, right? So I'm not saying money is everything, but money does help. I don't care who it is. If you're going down the road,
completely agree.
If you're going down the road and you have $20 to your name, okay, and you see someone who's someone homeless, okay, give them $20. You have no money. I'm not saying it's bad. That's an awesome thing to do. But do you think that $20? Now, granted, it's also it's more of a decisive thing, because you can't just give everybody money. That's why we don't all just get money as soon as we want it, because we can't handle it, right? But if you find somebody that actually I say deserves it, again, not really my decision there, but if you find somebody that you feel like deserves something, is $20 going to help them more, or is being able to like I'll say someone's homeless, veteran, been through a bunch of shit, had a strand of fucking bad luck, fucked up, right? Is a $20 bill going to help them, or is a apartment paid for a year and you can offer them a job in your business? Which one is going to help them more?
The apartment paid for a year and a job.
The $20 or the chance to change their life. You can't. It's really hard to change people's life when you have no money. Really, again, money is not necessarily everything, but at the same time, it kind of is, because without money, you can't even you can't breathe. If you can't eat, you have no money to pay for food. You can't fucking breathe. You're dead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which goes back to another saying that I think it was EB that said it. He's a motivational speaker. He says, you've got to want it bad enough. You got to want it like you want to breathe. So if you're drowning, what's the one thing you want? You want fucking oxygen. You want breath, right? You want to be able to breathe, right? So whatever you're going after in your goals or your life, you have to want it just as much as you want to breathe.
Mhm.
And I like that's another quote that is just always has stuck with me. I love that quote because it is a fact. If you want something, you've got to work your ass off to get it.
Yeah, and
No one's going to give it to you. No one's going to walk up and be like, hey, you know what? I don't need this company. Take it. It's yours.
Yeah.
You know?
right,
Well,
right,
I don't need this multi-million-dollar company. You can have it. I'm going to go. No one's going to do that. If you want something, you got to work your ass off for it.
right,
That's
and you have to risk it. You have to, like we talked about earlier, you have to risk to
Yeah.
get it, right? Well, here's the thing. It's about to hurt too, which makes a lot of sense. Is you will take the risk when the risk of not doing anything outweighs the risk of actually taking the fucking risk.
Mhm.
So when the risk of sitting in a life that you fucking hate for the rest of your life, when that now outweighs the risk of actually, moving forward, that's when you're going to do it. It's a sense of urgency type shit. That's when it's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Absolutely.
So y'all, once again, thank you guys for joining the podcast. I think Burden has something to say. Go ahead,
Now,
Burden.
yeah, well, I was just thinking about, earlier, Kevin was talking about if you didn't do anything, like say if you're living a shitty life, you're not motivated, your life is gonna reflect that, And what you're talking about right now is like, you know what? I get that because my brother, he's the one that he got into my head in June. He's the one that said, "Hey man, you need to become a fireman. Don't give a shit about anything else. You get that shit done, and you push yourself to it." So once he told me that, and he's one of the most driven people I've ever met. He motivates me. So when he told me that, he actually built something in me, and then ever since then, me trying to become a fireman, me working out, me eating healthier, me going to school, me doing all those things made me feel better. It made me feel like I could do anything, made me feel every single day that I get up, I see my boys, I see my daughter, I see my wife, I feel amazing. And I feel like, okay, this is mine. I need to keep on going,
Yep.
Then ever since then, now life has been great, So if you have
Right.
that mindset, keep on
Yeah,
going.
and-
Gotta keep
Yep,
going.
and now you're sitting on a podcast with 3 other questionable people.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Questionable.
I'm very
So-
questionable. I ain't gonna lie. I'm extremely questionable. I'd worry about me. Yeah, there's been rumors going around that I'm a scam artist and hacker. So I mean,
Yeah.
just saying.
Oh, they're
But,
fucking. They're just rumors.
Oh no, he definitely is. I saw a weird charge on my credit card for Pornhub. I know it wasn't mine.
Just the one thing I will say, it's not always about motivation either. You got to be disciplined because there are going to be days when you wake up out of bed and you're going to say, fuck, do I really need a job? Or do I really need to go to the gym? Do I really need to go for a run right now before work? I mean, if I skip that run, I can get an extra 30, 40 minutes of sleep, right? But
Yep.
what's an extra 30 or 40 minutes of sleep really going to do for you? Nothing. Not nothing in my opinion, man. So it's not all about motivation. You have got to get into a mindset where you actually absolutely 100% discipline your mind.
Oh yeah.
which is where Unburdened is, exactly where you said you are right now.
Yes.
I'm gonna say this real quick because everyone knows I originally on TikTok I came from the call out game, so I'm gonna call someone out, and without calling him out. He's correct. You have to have the discipline to drive yourself to go to bed on time so you can get up at that time to
Mhm.
be able to go do your thing and not play Fortnite all night. I mean that's one
That is
thing. He's like, wait a minute, what are you talking about?
That is
But
true.
no, this is, by the way, just so everyone knows, this is a joke based on a TikTok video he did about playing Fortnite.
But I promise you this, I will say this. As soon as we are done here, I am going to the gym for a 30-minute cardio session.
All right,
Just
man.
because I would go for a walk. However, it's dark. I'm not trying to get in no shit. You know what I mean? Because it could happen real fast. So the
Oh,
gym
yeah.
is most likely the safest place to go. But I'm going to go over there and try to get some more steps in because my step count's a little low. I'm logged for my goal is 10,000 steps a day. Right now, I think I'm at like 5,000. So
That's,
got to get that
I
up.
think he deserves that applause right there.
No,
Oh,
So-
yeah,
He's
absolutely. Appreciate it.
only, he's only hit half his goal. I ain't giving him a applause for shit.
Nah, I don't want it because I haven't done shit. I've
You'll
been
do it.
bullshitting this whole
What's
time.
your
You know what I mean?
applause.
I've been bullshitting this whole time. Like
It's
I'm not
all-
gonna lie.
I'm
Like
just saying, it's all
I'll
right.
give you
I
a
have
golf
been
clap there.
slacking.
Sarcastic one, there you go.
I have been slacking the past fucking week and a half. Probably I've been slacking a little bit when it comes to the gym. I hit the scale the
Yeah.
other day. It was at 240, and I about flipped the fuck out.
Do you have
But
a mentor with you?
I
Do you have
do. I have
okay?
a coach. I have a coach. Uh,
Yep.
Do you have a mentor that you could just pick up the phone and call? I mean, because I know you know 3 guys right here that
yeah,
you're having issues. Hey, go ahead, call me and say, hey, guess
yeah.
what?
I mean, absolutely.
What's going on?
I can call
I don't know
y'all. I
what's going
can.
on. Why the hell aren't you doing your 5,000 mile or your 5,000 steps?
Yeah, you're fucking. Why ain't you
Uh,
doing your goddamn 10,000 steps? I don't
I'll say
understand.
Come on.
Huggins.
Like, don't fucking talk about it.
Like,
Be about it. You know what I mean?
Being a bitch and keep getting this shit done.
Yeah. Well, no, like my coach, he sent me a text or this app that they use and shit. He sent me a video earlier, and he was like, "What the fuck have you been doing?" Kind of, sort of, and I was like, slacking. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm gonna be honest about it. There's gonna be some times where, and you unburdened, you go to the gym. I've seen some of your videos. We're actually doing stuff outside. That's badass. I
The most
like
Yeah.
that.
I like that.
A lot of it. Yeah, I got a lot of it.
Uh,
Bro.
and that's awesome. But like you can attest to this. I think you can actually say, you know what, he's right, because there's going to be days where you don't want to go, and sometimes that your fucking mind is going to win.
Mhm.
But
Oh yeah.
you can't let that make you feel guilty about skipping a day. Maybe that was your body saying, just kind of chill for a minute. You know
Uh,
what I mean?
I'm a firm believer that if you skip a day, you make up for the next day, right? And how you make up, you
Yeah.
work out extra longer. Okay, I work out 30 minutes a day or 30 minutes every other day. Well, I don't really feel like going today because I've got I've got court, I've got doctor's appointments, all that. I don't have time to go. Okay, so I can make time at midnight tonight to go because most gyms now are 24 hours, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go in at midnight, then I'm gonna come back at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's still, in my opinion, you're still getting a workout, but unfortunately, you're not getting your sleep. So, but it is now time. Yeah, I like this hoodie. Thank you, yeah. Just so everyone knows, this is the only hoodie I actually sold from my Twitch days, and I actually sold it to Yaya, and she actually gave it to me. So now I do have my hoodie back. I didn't even buy my own hoodie; she bought it. Gave it to me. So, but yeah, like I said, that's one of the goals for Empowered Mindset and Empowered Kings, mainly Empowered Kings, is so men have a place that we can truly be men, right? Because how many of you guys have a friend that doesn't know your old lady and you can go talk to and just vent? Or how about a job? You want to vent about your job. You can't just do that randomly because you don't know who that. But so Empowered Mindset is here to help you. It's here to try to give you a different mindset. That's why we now have 4 creators here that are motivational speakers. So there you go. We each have a different way of doing things. I believe that there's power in numbers. So in other words, the more people you have, the more that are pushing you and motivating you to get things done, the more likely you are to get the task done. Okay. Some people believe that, you just need to be self-driven. Not everyone's self-driven, right? So that's where your crew comes in. Hey, we got this. Let's jump on this. Let's get it done. And boom, we'll knock it out, right? So that's kind of the hope for Empowered Kings, is that way you guys have someone that can push you forward. Because I hate to say this, but no one's a better motivator than a stranger on the internet, right? I don't know how many people have sat there and motivated me on the internet when, no offense to my friends, any of my friends are in the comments. I do appreciate you guys being here for sport, but let's just pinpoint the truth. You're having a down day or you're feeling unmotivated. It's not like turning on your TikTok after you made a video and getting, thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for motivating me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know you two do, because you've even, that's part of the reason you became here. So, but I'd like to bring up a good buddy of mine and end the show with an amazing outro that he does every time. So here we go. I will be, let's see. Boom. Go ahead, Two Vets.
Hey. First and foremost, to the 4 and 5 guys that are in the show as well. Phenomenal show. Y'all truly did a great job, and I'm proud of every single one of you guys. One of the things that I was actually thinking about, as I was sitting in the comments and as I'm sitting in the backstage, talking about, cutting calories or, having certain goals, talking to other people, that you wouldn't know. But overall, bettering yourself. One of the things that I would like to, leave you with is, you know, out of all the trials and tribulations that you're going to face, the journey is the destination. Think about that. The journey is the destination. With that being said, I will go ahead and fall into my outro. I enjoyed seeing you today. Know you're loved, but most importantly, don't ever forget to be awesome, because you are. And until next time.
You son of a. I'm sorry, guys. Abracadabra. Tune in next week, 9 o'clock. I keep forgetting this thing doesn't work. So, my bad. It's all right. We're allowed to make mistakes, right? Because that's what life is. You learn from your mistakes. But anyways, let's hope we can complete some of those goals. For those of you guys that are actually partaking in the goals that we are doing or the challenges we are doing, once again, go talk to your healthcare provider, please. If you're doing any kind of physical, weight loss, whatever, please go talk to your provider before doing them, because we, like I said, we're here to help you, not hurt you. With that said, abracadabra, you guys have a great week.